These Knox TV. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and make sure you hit that notifications button. Jurassic Quest. You happy, baby?
Oh my gosh, I'm scared, y'all. I'm scared, y'all. Dad, what you doing? I cannot do this.
Is this thing working?
The volcano, y'all.
231 million years ago. Beside that is a kind of sea dinosaur named Coelophysis. Its name holloform because it has hollow stacks of hair and joints instead of cartilage. Coelophysis is the oldest known dinosaur here in North America. And next to that is a big leaf dinosaur called Herrerasaurus. Herrerasaurus is the largest predatory
had to come to an end. Just a little over.
Ooh, that dinosaur big.
It caused the extinction of roughly 70% of life on Earth. This wiped out a lot of bigger animals at the time. Without this,
Dilophosaurus man. Dilophosaurus was a predator at the very beginning of the Jurassic
Dilophosaurus.
Now, a lot of people have ideas of Dilophosaurus spitting poison or venom.
Big.
Any reason to think that Dilophosaurus did. There's also no evidence that they had a colored ruff. I've really seen it like a real magnificent Shakespeare, but not in Dilophosaurus as far as the tail were covered in bony plates.
Stegosaurus.
Along its tail it had a set of spikes called
look at the babe.
agonizer that it would use to defend itself from predators. And the predator it had to worry about most was Allosaurus. T-Rex isn't the only scary meat eater we have here at Jurassic Quest. Allosaurus was one of the larger predators around in the late Jurassic.
I'm glad dinosaurs extinct.
Big hooked claws. These could help it grip onto its prey, while it used its serrated teeth as its primary weapon.
That'd be
We know
cool to
it
have
used
as
its
a pet.
arms because scientists have found signs of
That'd be
microscopic
cool to
stress
have as a pet.
fractures on the bones of their forearms.
Ain't nobody about to mess with you.
Stress fractures happen in bones when a person or animal is using force to their bodies. They might have used their arms to keep their prey from getting away,
Shut up before I get my
or
Allosaurus.
possibly to hold on to a Stegosaurus's tail to avoid getting hit. The little guys in the scene are called guanlong. They're an early member of the coelosaur family that lived in what is now China. The coelosaur family was made up of mostly small predators, but as time went by, some coelosaurs eventually became a bit bigger. Specifically, Tyrannosaurus rex. Prehistoric again. The big, long-necked dinosaur in the scene is a Apatosaurus. A Apatosaurus is what we call a sauropod, or a long-necked dinosaur.
Look at the baby.
Sauropods were the biggest animals to ever walk on Earth. In order to get that big, sauropods had to eat all the time. To eat even more, these long-necked giants didn't waste time chewing, but swallowed the leaves from trees whole. But they had a special trick to help them digest their food. Sauropods would sometimes crane their long necks down to the ground and swallow small stones. Those rocks would help them grind up their food once it was inside. Apatosaurus has a funny history. Shortly after it was named in the 1800s, someone found the skeleton of another long-necked dinosaur, which they named Brontosaurus. A few years later, they decided that Brontosaurus and Apatosaurus were so similar.
this period saw all kinds of strange new life forms, including weird new plants that we call flowers. We're starting off in what is now England during the early Cretaceous, roughly 120 million years ago. The duck-billed dinosaur you see is what we call an iguanodon, and it's one of the first dinosaurs to be discovered and named. Some of you might have already guessed that iguanodon means iguana tooth. When iguanodon was discovered in England, no one had ever even heard of dinosaurs yet. So when it came time to name this bizarre new animal, the only similarities anyone could think of were that its teeth kind of looked like the teeth of an iguana, only bigger. The very first drawings of Iguanodon depicted it as a giant iguana-like creature. The animal it's next to is Baryonyx. Baryonyx was a carnivore, and specifically, it ate fish. We know that it ate fish because when the first baryonyx skeleton was found in England in the 1980s, it had fossilized fish bones and fish scales inside of its belly, along with a few bones from a young iguanodon. Since it lived in what is now England, as one of its last meals was fish, this could be the earliest evidence of anyone in the UK ordering fish and chips.
Our quest has now taken us from Europe's continent to Asia, still in the early Cretaceous. The big giant you see in this scene is Eutyrannus, a feathered tiger. Eutyrannus is part of the Tyrannosauridae family. That means it's a relative of the T-Rex.
Ain't the other one fell over. Is that a giant
what
fish?
makes Eutyrannus special is that it is the largest dinosaur with notable feathers. We know that Eutyrannus had feathers because of where and when it lived.
Oh, that's a
About
feathery
120
dinosaur.
million years ago, a volcanic eruption flamed much of the Leone province.
Tyrannus.
Like what happened at Pompeii thousands of years ago. While that was
Got a lot of fur.
devastating to animals at that time, it's great for paleontologists because it preserves
Just took off his
soft
own
tissue,
leg.
in some cases including feathers.
Hi, it's Park Ranger Marty again, and welcome to the early Cretaceous, North America. The furry guy is Utahraptor. Now let's see, anyone here guess where Utahraptor was discovered? That's right, Cincinnati. Just kidding, folks. Utahraptor was found in Utah. Utahraptor is the largest known member of the raptor family. Behind him is a predator named Ceyx. Ceyx was a massive predator that lived at the end of the early Cretaceous. Very little is known about Ceyx due to how recent of a discovery it is, but it is thought to be a member of the Allosauridae group that lived into the early Cretaceous. Ceyx lived in North America at the same time and same place as members of the Tyrannosaur family. But those tyrannosaurs didn't get any larger than about the size of a Great Dane, because the alpha predator was already filled by Ceyx. It wasn't until Ceyx became extinct that larger tyrannosaurs like Tyrannosaurus rex took the stage. Also in this scene is Deinonychus, or Deinonychus if you prefer. Its name means terrible claw, because of the sickle-like claws on its toes. If you've ever seen a movie that had a dinosaur called Velociraptor, there's a good chance it was actually a Deinonychus. And the director of that movie just thought that Velociraptor sounded cool.
Its fossils were discovered in 1912, but they were destroyed during World War II, when the museum they were in was hit during a bombing raid. It wasn't until the 1990s when Spinosaurus fossils were rediscovered. In fact, we've learned more about the Spinosaurus in the last 20 years than we have in the last century. We now know that it was a massive predator that lived in and out of the water in marshy waterways of what we now
In
know
and out of
to
the
be
water.
northern Africa, preying on fish the size of collars.
Hey Justin, is this a secure line?
Sure, I think.
What is that? A flying lizard?
I just turned the mic off.
Dinosaur?
Yeah, they
bird
definitely
thing?
can't hear us. What's up?
I just noticed that the T-Rexes aren't in their cages.
Oh, shoot.
Do you know if they've been moved to another location?
I haven't heard anything about
T-Rex
moving
is
them
gone,
anywhere
y'all.
else. They should both be there. I can check with Nick and Marty to see if they know anything about this.
That would be great. I'll organize a search. We need to find them soon, but we can't get our guests worried. Let's keep this on the down low.
Y'all, they just said the
We're moving
T-Rex
through
is
time
gone.
again,
They just got to
folks.
loose.
Welcome to the late Cretaceous. The Spinosaurus
How y'all feel about that?
spend a lot of time
I'm scared about this
You feel good about them T-Rexes?
Dinosaurs are my
Western
favorite.
Sea.
So you want a T-Rex to come running at you?
Sea that stretched from the Gulf.
Boy, you crazy!
Our first creature here is the long-necked Elasmosaurus.
Yeah, dude.
It's a relative of Plesiosaurus,
Snake with
the
teeth.
lunch bearer.
That one is
Second is Archelon, the biggest sea turtle known to exist. had a leathery shell, just like seashells today, probably laid eggs on land. That huge, fearsome creature is Tyosaurus. A relative of Mosasaurus, its name is the knob lizard because of a bony protrusion at the end of its snout that might have been used to ram.
There's still some turtles almost that big today,
Tyosaurus
which
is a
is
member
crazy.
of the Squamata family. That's the group of reptiles that includes lizards and snakes. It had forked tongues for
Dang, that thing is
water
long.
around them. They even had a row of teeth in the back of their mouths for holding it when they in water. This scary fish you see that looks like a cross between a piranha and tuna is scientific
That's ugly.
Zyphacus was a voracious predator of oceans all over the world for species.
That ugly thing.
Up to 20 feet long.
I wouldn't want to eat that.
Do you have any other questions?
Actually about 3 feet tall, 6 feet long, and about 20 to 30 pounds. Just think of an extra scary turkey. We also know that at least one velociraptor attacked a protoceratops, the next dinosaur in this season. This is thanks to the fossil of a velociraptor and protoceratops found, who died still locked in combat. The protoceratops broke the velociraptor's arm with its powerful beak.
Oh, look at it. It's biting and it has a scratch on its arm. Oh, no.
The other dinosaur in the scene, Oviraptor, has an unfortunate name, meaning egg beater. When this dinosaur was discovered, it was found over a nest of eggs thought to belong to Protoceratops. After later research, scientists realized it was sitting on a nest
That one
of
is
its
cute.
own
That's
eggs.
being messed up
But
thing.
the name stuck and is still debated if
Oh, look at her
Oviraptor
nose
actually
bleeding.
Dang, they was
Here
scrappy.
at Jurassic Quest, ours take their sunny side up every morning.
His nose is bleeding.
But on a more serious note, the 8 members of the dinosaurs that escaped are Tyrannosaurus rex. Any assistance in spotting the creatures would be greatly appreciated by
Ooh,
all
that one's
6
sticking out.
officers.
It's gonna
Thanks!
I think I see something.
Yet another dinosaur from Mongolia is the large Therizinosaurus you see here. The long claws. The claws
Dang,
are
them claws is long.
up to 3 feet long, making them the longest claws in the animal kingdom. Most of what we know about Therizinosaurus comes from animals closely related to it. The only fossil we have of this animal are its shoulders, arms, and hands. It is believed to be an herbivore. We are still looking for more fossils to know for sure. The dinosaur next to it
Yeah, it looked like a
herbivore who lived in what is now eastern Russia. It's in a
Don't
special
you see that one right there?
duck-billed
Ow,
dinosaur
it's
called
close to the
Indian
other.
famous for the elaborate crests on their head. These crests would certainly serve as a display structure, but they can also have been used in some Lambeosaurus as resonator chambers to make sounds used to communicate effectively with the herd. Speaking of communication, I've been directed to ask you all to keep an eye out for any free-roaming dinosaurs.
Dioramas from Mongolia.
Oh, gosh, I
Both
see
of
it
these
too.
dinosaurs have
Long
very
mouth.
long, narrow noses for a member of the Tyrannosaur family. And we're not sure what those noses may have been used for. Maybe to cut through water, making them a faster, more accurate fisherman, or maybe they were specializing in smaller, faster prey, not needing the powerful bite of a T-Rex. Speaking of which, if you see one of our missing T-Rexes, please let one of our 4 security officers know. Now, scientists only discovered this animal in 2014, so there's still a lot of unanswered questions about it. But I can't.
Arguably one of the largest meat-eating dinosaurs. Though it may look
Dang,
a lot like
that's
T-Rex, it actually
That would be
is a
scary
much
if it was
different.
alive.
Unlike a T-Rex, it has 3 claws on each hand, a lighter bone structure, and teeth that were designed for slicing, unlike the T-Rexes, which were meant for crushing through bones and ripping car tops open. Speaking of which, if you see one of our missing T-Rexes, please let one of our 3 security guards know where. Second largest in the scene is Carnotaurus, which means meat-eating bull because of the peculiar horns on its head. Carnotaurus might have used its horns as weapons against other predators. Carnotaurus is a very funny-looking dinosaur, not just because of the horns, but because of its tiny arms. Carnotaurus had the smallest arms of
Super
any
tiny.
known dinosaur, even smaller than the T-Rex. The small dinosaur in the scene is Alvarezsaurus, a small, fast predator that
Yeah, they are. They
during
super
the
fast.
late Cretaceous period. It is believed to have eaten insects.
Wait, that the press would have made a horror No, guys. I'm not gonna do that.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Like that one over there.
Oh, shoot.
It reached now 36 feet. Insane.
That's tall and much.
Standing like it is now is the height of a giraffe.
Definitely taller than
Weight less
that.
than 600 pounds. That's a lot, but incredibly light for an animal this size. Because it was doing everything possible to be as light as possible, including having very hollow bones. This was necessary for it to achieve flight. Quetzalcoatlus was not a dinosaur, but a pterosaur, a family of flying reptiles who lived at the same time as
I
dinosaurs.
think you said 160,
Like many,
not
but
60.
not all pterosaurs, Quetzalcoatlus had no teeth. Unlike our missing T-Rexes, who have
Roughly half of the T-Rex. Albertosaurus is named after the Canadian province of Alberta, where almost all of the remains of Albertosaurus have been found. This makes Albertosaurus a Canadian dinosaur. If you listen carefully, you can almost hear it apologizing.
You got scary?
Yeah, that's scary. That sounds scary.
South Dakota, and had a beak with no teeth. Monzu is a relatively new discovery, and scientists
Of their eyes and a very large frill.
Whoa.
Centrosaurines do not have prominent eye orange and tend to have smaller frills, but sometimes have
Rhino
one
probably
that
came
comes
from that
coming
family.
from out of those frills. Now, if you'd like to learn more about ceratopsians or any dinosaur,
That
you
little
can
one
text
trying
me
to hide.
questions at 844-DINO-411. That's 844-346-6411. And I'll be happy to help.
Y'all see that big shark?
This
That's small
armored
dinosaur.
is Ankylosaurus,
Y'all see it over there
also
trying to
known
hide.
as fused lizard. Ankylosaurus was armored from head to toe with bits of bone on their skin called osteoderm. They are known. This suggests that Ankylosaurus could fight off T-Rexes and possibly even win. The animal here is a Pachycephalosaurus, meaning thick-headed lizard, named after its thick domed skull. It is often depicted as being used to headbutt each other for
Look
dominance.
at the back of his
But some scientists think it is more likely used for display, and that the
Yeah,
large
I said it
bone
crushed
didn't
the,
grow until
T-Rex
much
leg.
later in life, which has implications for the next
Said it crushed the T-Rex leg.
Dracorex Papuensis. If that sounds like something from a Harry Potter book, that's because it is from a Harry Potter book. The name actually means Dragon King of Hogwarts, because the skull looked a lot like the skull of a dragon. There are some who think that as this dinosaur aged, the shape of its skull changed, and that what we are seeing here is a juvenile Pachycephalosaurus. But we won't know for sure until more fossils are found.
I've got great news, everyone. Our brand new head of security, Beth, has managed to locate one of the T-Rexes and lure it back to its cage. Had the most powerful bite of any land animal. 12,000 pounds per square inch. It needed such a powerful bite to crush the bones of their prey, or even tear through the roof apart. The powerful bite wasn't the only trick the T-Rex had
Look
on
at the
its
baby
very
one.
short snout. It also had something called a second bite. T-Rex had very short arms, so it couldn't brush its teeth. That means its mouth was full of its last meal, filling its mouth with bacteria. T-Rex would not be able to sometimes bite right away. If that happens, the bacteria from the T-Rex mouth might infect them, causing the prey animal to get sick. T-Rex uses terrific sense of smell to track the
Oh no, folks, this is terrible! That's my favorite Triceratops! Beth, we've located the missing T-Rex! Beth, do you copy? Terrible! Well, Triceratops is an herbivore from the end of the Cretaceous period. That's the same time and same place as T-Rex. Now, Triceratops means three-horned face for pretty obvious reasons. Triceratops is the gorilla in the
Oh,
back
it's
of its
eating
head.
it.
That seems like it would make a lot of sense, but there's actually evidence that when T-Rex
Baby,
did eat Triceratops, it would sometimes bite down on the frill and pull the Triceratops' head right off. This means it was less of a protective shield and more of a pull tab. Like my favorite dinosaur. But that crest is still there for some reason.
Oh yeah. That must be a megalodon.
I think that T-Rex is starting to notice your vehicle. Better make like a tree far down here.
Megalodons can be found
Like bigger jaws.
Staring at me.
for centuries were thought to be petrified tons of dragons and sea serpents. But they were actually was no less scary.
Thank you.
The good news is that Megalodon is definitely extinct.
Man falling
Despite
off.
what some TV shows would have you think. Of the ocean's leading treasures, Megalodon is not in danger. At least not anymore.
Yellow.
Not balloon.
All right. How was it, peeps?
It was
so
fun.
fun.
Learned about the different dinosaurs and everything. It was interesting.
Jurassic Quest.
Thank you, Dad.
Dino.
Welcome.
This is
Thank you all for tuning in.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and get that bell. A ring, ding, diggity, ding.
Ring that bell. Ring that bell. Ring it for that T-Rex.
Let me see the little dinosaur.
But nah, y'all, we had a fun time here. It was a good little learning thing about the dinosaurs. But we about to go. These Knox crew is out.
Look at it, Daniel. You see it? Thank you. All right.
Yeah, appreciate it.
These Knox TV. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and make sure you hit that notifications button.